Hi everyone, can you hear me? Hello, hi everyone. Afnan, can you hear me? Okay, perfect. Okay, so thanks a lot for your time. So my name is Noam Alham. I'm uh, consulting sales engineer in Google Cloud Security. Today we are going to shed some light on some of the gaps that we are facing within different verticals, specifically in the financial sector. And we want to see how we can be in a good position to, analyze and mitigate and resolve those, gaps to prevent them from happening in the future. This is our agenda for today. So we're going to be navigating through some challenging facts when it comes to the cybersecurity program across the financial entities. We're heavily in Go Cloud Security, aligned with the financial regulators here in Saudi and more into the financial sector. And of course, we will be highlighting our approach on how we are going to address those challenging facts and the challenging concerns. And then we will show you how our approach and how we can help you resolve those facts. Now, when it comes to those facts, we want to see uh, those adversaries that are going to bypass our defenses, our traditional security controls. We want to see what's really happening in the front line. So basically, we can see one of the main challenges that we have across our customers, and specifically in the financial sector, that the supply chain and third-party vendors, the partners, will introduce almost 17% of the risk to the organizations that we have in the financial sector. So we can see that the percentage has been increased from 1% in 2020 to 17% 2021. We're expecting this to be even increased in 2023 as well. So we can see that when it comes to the exploits, when it comes to the zero-day attacks, we are basically facing a major increase when it comes to the zero-day exploits. Zero-day means that if you have a vulnerability or application that has an exploit that is not patched and unknown for the vendor itself. So this will introduce a really big risk for any organization that runs, for example, a public facing application or a public services. Now, uh, from the challenging facts perspective, we can see that we have this increase in the threat actor activities, and of course, we're not really um, reinventing the wheel when we say that we definitely have a shortage in the cybersecurity skills. So lots of turnovers that are happening within the cybersecurity skills, and of course we can see how difficult it is to hire cybersecurity talent, to retain a cybersecurity talent, to maintain a cybersecurity talent, and of course to train this. This is one of the challenging concerns. When it comes to the rising complexity here, we're trying to tell you that as a part of the cybersecurity function, you need to identify your assets that you are going to enforce your security policy on it, right? So before you identify those assets, or before you protect those assets, you have to identify them at first, right? So we can see that we have a rising complexity when it comes to see where are we hosting our assets? Is it in the cloud? Is it in the private cloud? Is it in an MSSP? Uh, this will definitely make or play a major role or contributes in expanding our attack surface. Okay, because our assets are distributed everywhere. And then our approach here is that we need to identify ourselves because, for example, if you are a bank, if you are working with a financial institution inside Saudi Arabia, you are unique. You have unique geopolitical conditions that will make your enemies unique as well. So you need to know yourself. You need to know your threat landscape and threat profile. And of course, you want to see how efficient are your security control responding to this specific threat profile. So this is where you can validate basically how efficient are those security controls in detection, prevention, alerting, and logging. And of course, you want to see whether or not you're prepared to respond to those guys. Okay, and so we want to shift, our security program from being reactive, risk-based, okay, to basically a proactive approach, okay. And then we want to move from depending on people to relying heavily on AI to accelerate our response. And of course, we want to move from relying on a typical subscriptions and threat intelligence to have it operationalized, ingested within our security controls top down. And of course, we want to do the same thing on the alerting, on the capacity, and the silent data that we have across our security program. So when it comes to moving from proactive to reactive and relying on our expertise, we can introduce several things that will help you move throughout this journey, from relying on the frontline threat intelligence, from validating the security controls that you have, and of course from identifying the attack surface management that you currently dealing with. Now, definitely, you have to transform your security operations, and you need to have this mission to empower the entity that you are working with a proactive cybersecurity defense. So to help you be more proactive, we need to provide a personalized frontline threat intelligence to understand those adversaries and how you may be attacked. And of course, an outside in view of your attack service can definitely be helpful to understand your exposure. Again, validating how of your existing security controls to reveal the potential weak spots will, of course, be very, very important. So we deliver a core reactive capabilities in integrating platform, analytics, and detection, prioritize alerts to guide your analyst, to guide your activity. So we do this because at the end of the day, we need to complement this with the unparalleled expertise to provide the help, and of course, when and where you need it, before, during, or after the incident. Now, our approach in Google will rely on our massive footprint across basically the globe. We're the largest inter-network connected on Earth. We are, protecting more people. We're keeping more people safe online than anyone else. So if you look at the Chrome browser, we're protecting 5 billion Chrome browsers, 2.5 billion Gmail users. We rely on the leading malware and intelligence platform, which is VirusTotal. Our cloud responds to more than 46 million requests per second. So I understand maybe those are statistics that you are getting from Google as the largest internet network connected on Earth. But of course, integrating this with Mandiant is also important. So with Mandiant, you'll be in a good position to provide the relevant expertise, the relevant threat intelligence, the relevant context for the thousands of alerts that you are receiving every day out of your security controls. So we're here to help you across the journey to protect and identify and remediate the threats that going behind your organization. So talking about Google approach or Google Cloud approach now, we do have several security platforms that we can help any organization to basically be proactive, protect the the sensitive or the crown jewels, the critical subnets, critical assets within our product. So basically, we do have the SIM, we do have the SOAR, we have threat intelligence, and of course, we cannot forget our mandate security validation and our expertise. Now, talking about Mandiant, consulting and advantage. So we do have different pillars in Mandiant to help you leverage a better capability and capacity for your security program. So from the consulting perspective, we do provide different uh, services from the strategic perspective, where we can help different customers to basically uh, make sure that in terms of planning, in terms of resourcing, they are doing better in their cybersecurity program. From the side, from the security capability, we're here to help them develop, enhance, and of course operate a better cyber defense center. Okay, with some other wide range of services like incident response, cyber threat intelligence, and forensic or threat hunting. Here we can level up the capabilities of any security team. Now, from the technical assurance perspective, we're here to help the customers make sure that they are investing in the right security controls. So we can help them make sure that they do have a better posture when it comes to the penetration testing, the red teaming, the purple teaming. Those are the services that are needed to validate how good are the security processes and controls are doing when it comes to real threats that is happening. Now, from the incident response perspective, we're here to help customers recover back to their normal course of operations after a cybersecurity incident. So we help them to mitigate root cause analysis, and of course, we do have wide range of services to help customers achieve this goal. From Mandiant Academy, so we help, and this is I think could be useful for you guys. So from Mandiant Academy, we're here to help build the knowledge on the cybersecurity. So we have a training that can deliver, in flexible manners across different topics, either on demand, online, or physical, to help you augment your cybersecurity knowledge. So this is also important. I can definitely share the resources with you team to basically help you understand what are the topics, what are the offerings from Mandate Academy perspective. Now, going to Mandate Advantage platform, and I'm gonna cover three modules, out of this platform to contribute to our topic today. So, from threat intelligence perspective, we're here basically to help you understand what are the threats and the external threats that are targeting you. Okay. Now, the threat intelligence is important because it will help you understand who is targeting you, why they are targeting you, how they are going to penetrate your defenses, and then how you can be in a good position to detect and stop and track those alerts as it goes inside your um, your defenses. So from a tactical perspective, I'm here trying to answer what is this malware, how can I stop it, how can I detect it. This will speak to the vulnerability management requirements and use cases, and of course to the infrastructure operation. When it comes to operational threat intelligence, I'm here trying to ask or answer the question of how this malware will penetrate my defenses. So tactics, techniques, procedures, methodologies that are there can be definitely unveiled and addressed during this level of threat intelligence. And of course, the strategic level of threat intelligence is important. So I'm here more concerned about who is targeting me, okay, which is more or less an attribution process that has to be conducted to identify who is interested to go behind me. And of course, I want to identify this because I really want to know what is the motivations, what are the intentions for those guys. Whoever is interested to target me, who is, what is the identity, why they're going behind me, and what is their intention, what they're trying to do at the end. So different, threat intelligence level will speak to different requirements for different teams, right? So the strategic level threat intelligence is here to help the executives to do the proper planning, proper messaging, uh, and proper resourcing. Where the operational level is here to accelerate your incident response practice and security operations. The tactical level is here to help you augment your infrastructure operations and vulnerability management, of course. Now, why Mandiant is different, or why Google Cloud now is different from anyone else, or when it comes to threat intelligence, simply because we rely on, multiple collection sources. Uh, so we have a diversity in the collection sources that will help make our threat intelligence content very actionable and very rich and very relevant to our customers. So basically, when it comes to the adversary intelligence, which is the first part, here we do have you know um, hundreds of agents. They are actively working in the deep web, in the dark web, in the underground platforms, and those guys they can be in a good position to discover any sensitive information that has happened to be the case across those platforms. For example, your VIPs, your code, your usernames, your credentials. So we can help discover uh, those sensitive information as it's being circulated across those platforms. Now, those guys are very much exposed, and they do basically uh, communicate with multiple languages. Like we do support more than 30 languages we speak now. They exist in 29 countries. They're producing, thousands of threat intelligence reports. When it comes to the breach intelligence, here we're discussing the mandiant incident response. So we are responding to those threat actors in the field every day. So every time we discover new techniques, new tactics, and new procedures, and we definitely push this knowledge to our threat intelligence, and we'll make it available for our threat intelligence customers. When it comes to the expertise, so of course within Mandiant we do have some consultation practice. Like we can help you do, for example, red teaming, penetration testing, compromise assessment, and we can help you, deliver all those services. Uh, and during the course of those consultation services, we will be in a good position to discover new techniques, new tactics, new procedures to help you. I would say uh, be in a good position to understand the new methodologies that are adopted by a threat actor who is interested to target you. And of course, talking about the financial sector here, definitely we can tailor and customize our content toward addressing, all those TTPs that are adopted by a threat actor who is interested to target you. Uh, from the machine intelligence, we rely on the technologies to do virtual execution for thousands of malware files that are virtually executed across different sandboxing vendors, and those you know this knowledge will be pushed to our threat intelligence brain, then we'll make it available to our threat intelligence customers. The operational intelligence here, of course, we're talking about the managed detection and response service. We do serve hundreds of, few hundreds across the globe. So uh, definitely will be in a good position to, um, n- during the course of threat hunting missions, to discover new techniques, tactics, procedures that are adopted by a threat actor who is interested to go behind you. How can we operationalize our threat intelligence? So you will get to receive, basically multiple channel through which you can digest this threat intelligence into your security program. So through API integration, we can help you integrate with the security control. We can help you, contextualize the risks as it goes within your web page and literally any web page. You have an extensive access to our dashboard, and you do have uh, definitely channel to communicate and interact and engage with our threat intelligence analyst. Now, we're not here to help you only digest this actionable knowledge. We're here to help you as well build the capabilities in order to be in a good position to consume and utilize this actionable knowledge. So we, through the multiple programs that we have from threat intelligence services, we can help you build the cybersecurity threat intelligence function. We can help you train the CTI function or the threat intelligence uh, function that you have within your organization. We can help you as well build the threat landscape. Okay, we can help you customize the reporting, and of course, help you address certain RFIs. And of course, we're here to build, we're here to enhance, and we're here to design your threat intelligence function. Because at the end of the day, you're about to execute multiple transaction to onboard threat intelligence within your security stack. And of course, you need to have a proper mean to digest this knowledge. Okay, having the knowledge is important, but of course, operationalizing it is even more important. Now, when it comes to the third parties, in the third party analyst reports that were done on all threat intelligence or the threat intelligence in general, we have three research studies that were done 2018, 2021, and 2023. And you can see that our product was actually leading. So this is the previous name of Google Cloud or Mandiant, which is FireEye. Now it's not there anymore. It's being rebranded. But this is the old name of us. So across the years, we're actually leading within the threat intelligence because of the diversity of the collection sources that we have. The attack surface management is here to help you understand how you are exposed to the attacker. So let's imagine if the attacker in the wild is trying to penetrate you, where this attacker is going to attack you in order to get into your defenses, into your environment, into your sensitive subnets, into your critical assets. So basically, the attacker will try to basically, uh, try to enter from your cloud assets, from your published services, applications, or maybe you have some external assets that are exposed. Of course, we talked about supply chain already, and of course, this is where the risk will start. Okay, so basically, the attack service management is here to help you understand and inventorize your assets. So we're here to help you understand what do you have, what assets do you have online. We're not here to list it only, but we're here to help you understand what is really running from the technology perspective, from the vendor perspective, from the product perspective. So we're here to help you inventorize and get that visibility. We want to get that visibility at the end because we want to help you understand what are the risks across those assets. Okay, so we will discover the issues that you have across your assets, and then we will help you uh, get the remediation plan to mitigate the threat out of those assets. And of course, we want always to help you stay on top of your newly discovered assets and newly discovered issues against those assets. So we talked about the threat intelligence in the previous section. So the threat intelligence is important for this platform, which is the attack service management. So with the attack service management, we will help you discover the assets or the issues across your assets. But we want to get the right context against those issues. So, and we're getting the proper context through the threat intelligence. So we will help you to, through this integration, get a proper assessment on the risk that you have, and we want to prioritize, the efforts toward mitigating the issues against those assets. So we want to start, for example, with the most critical either asset or issues related to those assets. Okay. Um, so where do we discover those assets? So, or what do we discover against those assets? So basically, we're going to discover uh, anything that belongs to you online, which is basically an IP address, a name server, net block, a DNS record, domain, anything. And of course, uh, when it comes to where are we going to look to find those assets? So we are part of Google. And more than 50% of the global internet traffic is basically Google traffic. Okay. And this is really important because at the end, you will be in a better position to, I would say, get that proper visibility that you need to discover those assets that you have. And you can see here what we can discover. So we can discover anything that belongs to you: an IP address, net block, SSL certificate, URLs. If you want also GitHub repository, domain, DNS record, for example. Um, and then we will basically identify the risk, help you mitigate it. And of course, we want to see, because sometimes I know that I'm speaking to the developers community. Of course, you will be using different applications or different uh, software applications, and you want to understand the risk against them. So with attack service management, that's going to be specifically for those assets or entities that are exposed to the internet. You want to discover what are the risks against them and how you can mitigate them. And you want always to be on top of the newly discovered assets and newly discovered issues. So use cases, I can tell you, massive number of use cases can be achieved for different, even, security teams, from red teaming, from the security operations. Of course, the GRC can benefit from that specific solution because they will be looking after the subsidiaries and the shared services. And of course, the application security can definitely benefit from this asset, from this platform. The vulnerability management teams can be able to, you know, uh, help discover all the specific vulnerabilities related to the exposed assets. We integrate with different cloud providers. We do integrate with different, DNS zones from Cloudflare, Kamai, Edge, and GoDaddy. We do integrate with different GitHub accounts and repositories as well. So vulnerabilities can be, or the issues can be vulnerabilities, can be misconfigurations, can be IOCs, can be leakages, expired certificates, exposed services. Different issues can be discovered. Those are some sample issues that we have on the screen for those, for this specific platform. Okay, so we discussed, just recap, we have discussed the challenges that we have within our cybersecurity program. And specifically, I had to zoom in to the challenges that is there within the financial sector. And talking about our approach, so we want to discover who is interested in us and how we can basically help protect our environment, our applications from someone who is interested in targeting us. So we want to protect our entry points. Okay, the attacker will try to penetrate us, to impact us, and he's trying to, for example, enter from the public-facing applications, the codes, the application, softwares, anything that is really exposed from your organization online could be a risky entry point for any adversary or attacker. Now, we discovered our threat landscape with threat intelligence. We discovered our uh, digital footprint and the risk against it online through the attack surface management. Now, with the security validation, we want to see how can we make sure that our security controls are working as expected, right? So we want to make sure that our investments in the security stack is perfect, is efficient, and I want to see how efficient our security controls in responding to basically a threat actor who is known to be targeting organization like yours. When it comes to the statistics that we have, basically, we are in Mandiant or Google Cloud Security now. We are responding to threat actors every day, as you know. So we did a study on 1,000 victims that they called us for a cybersecurity incident, and we saw that more than half of them were completely unaware that we have an executed attacks. 74% of those attacks just went undetected, and 9% of those alerts are just correlated by the SIM. So imagine those are concerning statistics that we have. So that means that our security investments are not really efficient, are not we're not really getting a proper return on investment across our security controls. Now, the challenging fact of the cybersecurity success criteria is that we heavily rely on assumption. Sometimes, if we belong to an organization, a vendor will come to us, will tell us that my product is fantastic, is capable to do one, two, three. However, you need to validate that as a customer, as someone who is going to onboard this cybersecurity controls within the security stack in no time, uh, executing sometimes multi-million uh, uh, dollars in a single transaction for one security control. Sometimes we assume that those products are perfectly deployed and perfectly configured. Sometimes we assume that the operation of the security controls is being done properly. We are utilizing each and every single feature in our security control, which could be or not the case. Now, we sometimes assume that the changes that we're doing across our cybersecurity controls are basically communicated successfully, are being planned properly. So the security control, which was working perfectly on Thursday, uh, and we have a maintenance window over the weekend, is still working perfectly on Sunday or Monday. So we want to validate that. So those are the assumptions that we see in the screen is subject to be validated. How can we move on and try address those challenging assumptions? As part of a security function, you will be reporting to the management, and those management teams could be, could ask the most critical questions. They're not really pure technical, but they will ask you the most tricky question. Okay. Um, so sometimes they will ask you, "Are we really secure? Um, how our cybersecurity spend trending compared to the last quarter?" Which means, are we really enhancing over time? And then if you belong to a bank, you're a developer in a bank or any institution, and if God forbid you were hit by a ransomware or any kind of attack, and you want to make sure uh, that if your competitor was hit with this ransomware, you want to make sure that if God forbid the same ransomware happened to you, you are protected. Okay, you're doing better than your competitor, or you're doing better than your partner in the same industry, in the same vertical. Another question could be around optimizing the budget. Another question could be about reducing our cybersecurity spend. Of course, every organization have their own, critical subnets, critical crown jewels. You want to make sure that those critical subnets are still protected as we speak. So if you get this question from the top management, you need to know how to answer it. And unfortunately, those questions are tricky enough so that um, the answer would need to be binary answer. It's a yes or no. And if you say yes, you have to justify this yes with a proof. And if you say no, you have to justify it with another proof as well. So those are the challenges that we are discussing here out of our security controls. We need to make sure that we are responding properly to our management, and we need to resolve those challenging those challenges out of our security controls. Now, the answer will be in three steps. So we do have our threat intelligence, our demand and security validation integrated to this threat intelligence. We will get the latest library, the latest techniques, the latest tactics of the attacks, push to the security validation. And this is our security controls. Possibly I have different vendors. Okay. And then I want to do it in three steps. I want to emulate real attacks across those security controls and then measure how effective they are in detection and response and alerting and logging. And then I want to adapt based on the result. I want to adapt and move to a better security posture. Okay. Now, if I am a security architect within, for example, your organization, I will be able to see, um, I'll be able to segment my security zones. Like if I want to segment it to basically internal zones like server zone, a workstation zone, business zone. I want to see, for example, some other zones related to the partner zones, internet zone, remote retail zone, any external zones. Of course, I cannot forget the DMZ, which is the middleware zone. I have some level of security controls here on different threat vectors like the firewalls, proxies, DLPs, IPSs. Of course, I have my SIM here. And then I want to basically be able to allocate. So I have this mandate security validation actors and components. So imagine just like in the movies where we have a director and actors, and the director will instruct a pair of actors, which is two actors, to engage with each other based on pre uh, approved or agreed scenario, right? So uh, those actors will be distributed across the security zones, and those actors and the director will choose, as I told you, pair of actor to emulate the real attacks across your security controls against them. So the attacker actor will target the destination actor, and the emulation path will be across the security controls that you have within your environment. So the director will integrate with the security control, will integrate with the SIEM. The director will be in a good position to tell you which one of those security control was capable to protect, to prevent this attack as it goes within your environment. And then you will be in a better position to validate the integration status of the SIEM. So with the SIEM, you'll be able to see what are basically the which events, which security control was able to report those attacks to it, and then you will be able to validate how effective are the correlation rules within the SIM itself, so that an alert will be generated back to the SOC team once we are mediating this attack. We're doing this outside in, we can do it inside out, we can do it east-west, it depends on the attack scenario. We're perfectly aligned with MITRE ATT&CK. We're perfectly aligned with attack that has multi-phases approach. We all know that the attackers today they're not going to emulate the real attack in a single action. They are going to wait and see sometimes. So sometimes they are going to deliver the first patch of files through the email, through any threat vector, and then they will wait for some time, and then they will try to move to the next step. So we are dealing with attacks that has multi phases now. So you want to see how efficient are your security controls is doing against an attack that has multi phases, right? So you want to evaluate this from that perspective as well. And then um, we're doing this safely because as you can see, our actors will engage with each other. They're not going to impact the production environment of yours. Uh, so mandate security validation actor will target another actor. Okay, so we're not going to touch your production environment. This is for sure. So all what we do here is that we are going to control and tailor the path of the attack so it will pass through the security controls that you are looking to evaluate how efficient they are and responding to attack that is delivered by someone who is interested in you. Okay, so this is basically the flow and the architecture of the managed security validation. Um, why it's different? Because we are augmented with a threat intelligence library. We're doing emulation with real attack binaries, so it's a real payload. And then we are perfectly aligned with full attack lifecycle, and we can do it in an automated fashion. You don't have to do it manually. Okay, so you can just schedule a set of a single or a package of actions to be emulated in a certain time, recursively, in a certain cadence. So those are the added value of the mandate security validation that we're discussing here. Now, we're here to do optimize the controls. Okay, so we want to see which one of those security controls are perfectly utilized, and then we want to see if we have a duplication in our security stack. Okay, like for example, if two security controls are doing the same thing, you want to make sure that you are investing in the right security control. So sometimes you can safely retire one of those security controls, reinvest in areas where you have real gaps to be covered, right? And of course, you want to validate the relevant threads. What does that mean? So basically, my organization has its own elements, right? And I want to make sure that I whenever I got attacked or penetrated by those guys, I am fully prepared. So I want to validate my security stack against um, someone who is interested to target me. Okay, of course, I do have threat intelligence. Why not use it? Okay, and I want to align. I'm perfectly aligned with the widely adopted attack frameworks like MITRE ATT&CK, like Nest. So I want to do the framework assessment across those widely adopted attack framework. And I want to make sure that my SOC and correlation are perfectly working as expected. Like, for example, if a security control was able to detect, a threat, will be able to report that threat through the SOC. And I want to make sure that this SIM that I have has, a correlation rule that is fine-tuned properly enough so that an alert will be generated back to my SOC team. Um, of course, I'm here to basically uh, align and get sample recommendations for my security controls from the network perspective, from the endpoint perspective, from the security operation perspective. I'll be able to validate my investments across the security controls. So this is basically our approach. So we discussed the challenging concerns about, you know, uh, a vertical, an important vertical like the financial sector. We highlighted what are the latest concerns, and then we moved to discover how we can help in basically addressing this risk. So we specifically covered the threat intelligence, which is how we can help identify our enemies. We covered with security validation as well, how we can help identify our capabilities. Who is your enemy? This is something that you get it from your threat intelligence. And what about yourself? Knowing yourself, this is more about the security validation. The attack service management will sit in between, where it will identify like your digital footprint online. We're here to help you list and inventorize your digital assets. We're here to help you get the proper visibility across them, get the proper visibility from the technology, the product, the vendor perspectives. And of course, we're here to help you understand the risk and understand the misconfigurations, understand the leakages, the vulnerabilities across those assets. Why we're doing this? Because we want to mitigate those threats, obviously. And of course, I'm not expecting to set 24 by 7 on the dashboard. So that's why we have notification where any newly discovered assets is there, well, you will be notified even if you're not there within the platform. Uh, of course, it's the case for the newly discovered issues as well. So Um, this is basically our approach in addressing those problems, and this is our approach on how we can resolve those issues related to the challenging concerns and the challenging threats. So that was actually the last slide. I'm more than happy to get your input and feedback, and of course, I'll be sharing some resources related to Google Cloud Security and how we can address and analyzing the gaps and resolving and prevent those gaps within our security controls. So I hope I we have some questions, or otherwise we can wrap up. So is there any question? Okay, in that case, thank you a lot for listening, and hope that we will meet sometime soon. And I hope the session was fruitful. I'll be sharing with the team the recorded resources to help you understand more about the our approach and analyzing the gaps and how to solve and prevent them. Thank you a lot.